All right, check 1 2. Check 1 2. How's everybody doing? I would say I'm sorry I'm late, but that's pretty much the norm for me now, so sorry, not sorry. Hope everyone's doing well. Uh, typical busy day. I'm probably gonna be a little shorter on this stream too, just time-wise, only because I have some pressing deadlines that I need to meet today, and I need to do them while there's daylight. So, without further ado, hello, hello, welcome. Here we are on. I don't really keep track of these things. I don't know how many streams I've done now, but it's been a bit. Been a bit. We got some following though, which is always nice to see some regular faces. Say hello in the chat if everything's copacetic. I trust that you can all hear and see me and see my raptor. I know it's a little bit of a change because I think the images were of Neo and Cupid, and I'm gonna get right back to Neo here in a second. But just thought I'd do a little cheap self promotion. I think some of you are, or probably many of you are aware of what NFTs are at this point. But I'm gonna jump into the fray and hopefully make a sale or two. We'll see. But this will be my first one, and I'm using my Raptor, which is based on a somewhat famous Raptor. I think many people might recognize, um, extremely closely. Yeah, it's my JP Raptor. So this awesome lady is going to be. Let me solo her out quickly. Well, almost solo. I was matching her up. This is an old. So I'm actually redoing my Raptor again a little bit, just tightening up, matching details to the previous one that I have out there. So I'm just doing some projection back there. But yeah, there'll be some pretty cool stuff coming out here soon. So just thought I'd do a little promo. If you follow me on Instagram, you will be able to see the progress of my first NFT coming out. So I might do a little bit on here, but it's still I'm just projecting back detail, which is not very exciting. Which is what you guys saw me doing the last couple streams for Keanu. So I'm not gonna really beat a dead horse with that. But yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be something new. This is not the pose. This is not the final model, but it will be something people will know, recognize, and hopefully very much enjoy. So I think it will be something that it will probably get some heads turned a little bit in a good way. Just laugh. It'll be funny. So yeah, so keep your eyes out for that. Keep it peeled. If you have any crypto or know anybody who has any crypto who would like to purchase an original piece, and I'm gonna throw in a special thing for the first, at least three for sure. The first three iterations of this piece, I'm going to 3D print what the piece will be, showing as well, and it'll be a unique model that will be numbered, and there'll be only three of them at this point, and there'll be 01 through 03, and if anyone buys the NFT, any of the first three editions, I'll send them a 3D print for free, for the cost of along with the the ownership of the NFT. So should be pretty cool, and those won't be for sale in the exact same versions or style. They won't ever be for sale anywhere else. So those will be exclusive to whoever buys the first three NFTs. So yeah, should be something pretty cool, pretty fun, and definitely memorable. So anyway, let me see if I can get now. I think I saved this as a. I did save this as a project. So let me get back to the project. So yeah, that's the Raptor. All right, project file open. No, don't save this. Let's get to the matrix. Alicia, hello. Love the Velociraptors. Thank you, Richard. It's funny. I begrudgingly share them now and then, or talk about them now and then, or whatever, because I'm known for them. But I say begrudgingly only because I feel like I don't know. I think I might have been a little scarred by some people's comments, but they're valid comments too, I think. But people were just like, I remember it was like a year or two later, and I hadn't really 3D printed anything big and new because I was still working on my Trico model, which is back there behind that lighthouse now. Um, that was just so ambitious and so much bigger, and that's kind of what these pieces are too. It's like I don't like just 3D printing basically most anything that anyone else has ever made. Typically, it's just I just want to show my own stuff, But more so, I felt bad about showing raptors a lot because people were just that's all they saw of me, and I'm just like it's getting old, I would think. But there's still millions of people who've never seen them before or who would appreciate them. So I guess you got to keep that. It's hard to keep that perspective, of like what the outside world might see versus what you always see from the inside. There's a huge discrepancy there, and I think that like anyone else, I think struggle with a balanced idea of what people have, you know, enough of versus interest in. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah, there'll be some cool stuff coming out with raptor centric and other dinosaur centric stuff. That'll be pretty unique and funny and fun and I think, I mean, honestly, I'm going to be happy to have a 3D printed version of what I'm going to be making here for the NFTs because I think it'll be memorable, it'll be fun, and it'll be cool. It'll be a cool display piece too. So, anyway, so getting back to Mr. Reeves. Oh, and I need some music. So I'll probably be jumping off here in about an hour and a half instead of 2 hours. So just an FYI. Sorry, just one more second. And please feel free, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. You can type up whatever questions you may have. And so a lot for those, if anyone's new to the stream, I mean, obviously, for those of you who've been here before, this is not news, but a lot of my streams are just a process. They're just going through it. If you have a specific question of something and it can kind of relate to what I'm doing, or if it's not too, labor intensive, I can show it to you. If you have some questions. But that's also something else that I'm kind of offering now, and I already have a few people who are interested, but I'm sure there are many more who probably would be. So I'm starting to do private lessons. So you could say it's like personalized tutoring, private training. We could also do some group classes if I get enough interest. I just have a few people right now, so I don't think it's enough really for a decent group class. But if someone's interested in that, please let me know. I have a post about it on my Instagram, and I'll do some more reminders and posts about it. But yeah, it's professional training by myself, and it should cover some pretty cool stuff. But I also am looking to see what people would like to know. If you just want to start out in ZBrush, or if you want to learn some specifics about 3D printing, prep, whatever, or just general ZBrush info, and you want a more personalized touch and more direct, kind of conversation with somebody that gives you immediate answers and can also give you some good foundational, perspectives and basic art training too. You want the line arts touch, so to speak. So if you're on IG, if you're on Instagram, you can follow me at Daniel Line Arts. That's my Instagram handle. Send me a DM if you're interested in some ZBrush training. Sorry, I'm like extra close to the camera here. And yeah, and we can take it from there. Okay. Gotta make sure you get my nice fat face in the frame there. God, I've gained the COVID. What do they call it? The COVID 20. No, where'd the face go? What's going on here? I thought the cameras were saved. Let's try this now. Dang it! Why is it off? I don't get that. I don't get why it never seems to save correctly. All right, so let's load the project again, and I'll save the cameras that way. It's a little annoying. All right, so clear. Okay, hopefully that worked now. Yes. Weird. I don't know why the other one didn't save properly. Anyway. So yeah, just doing a likeness. Pretty basic stuff here. Got an image plane in the back, and we've got him here. And so the next phase was going to be dropping the jaw. because everything else is matching pretty good now. I'm pretty happy with it. And even though, you know, his eyes are going to be covered by sunglasses, I still wanted them to be in the right place and everything, of course, just to help with the whole face likeness. And yeah, I'm still debating. I was talking on the last stream about maybe doing the lenses actually in clear, 3D printing them clear, and then just coating them with a nice thick coat of smoke, which is like it's a very translucent paint by Tamiya, or Tamiya, however you say it. And so I think that'd be kind of cool to actually be able to see through the glasses, through the shades. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So the mouth is open. It's just open. Like the jaw is down. The jaw is definitely. It's like he's pulling his chin down, but he's also just. It's almost like just the lips. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of the jaw, but yeah, it's a bit of both, I guess. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll do some rotation here. Oh, yeah, the gizmo's still where it was. All right, interesting. So the reason why I'm doing this is just kind of to get that distance here. So I turn off perspective. All right, so let's see if I reset this. It doesn't really help. It's just rotating it. All right. All right, let's see that. So it might even be. Oops, what am I doing? It might even be the. It might just be the lips. I don't know. Let's see here. Do what we really shouldn't do. I mean, just because it's barely helpful, but it's like pixelating. I'm gonna check the chin alignment. It looks about. That looks about right. Let's see how much of a difference this makes if we go. So we can see when it goes past. That's closed, I guess. And you can see the line there where the chin kind of stops right around here. So yeah. So it's just open a little bit. Sorry, still got some sleep in my eyes. I was up pretty late last night. It was one of those nights where you just do not feel the hours going by, and then when you look, it's like, holy crap, it's 4 a.m. It's 5 a.m. I gotta go to bed. So yeah, I literally just got up like like a couple hours ago and walked the dog and took care of morning routine, and here we are. So the life of an artist, as I know many can relate. It's so easy to just. I'm a night owl. I'm just so much more. No one's gonna call. No one's gonna knock. Just zero in as the day goes on. I just get more and more laser focused until it's just like sleep, food. What's that? All right, so we're looking good. So now it's a matter of like just the finer points here of the making the mouth look correct, making it look like Keanu's mouth. Because these lips are, I think the upper lip I did some touching up on already in the previous stream, but the lower lip has not been touched, and it's obviously fuller and more pointed on the ridge, on the edge of the where the lips meet the chin. So that's all kind of a little bit more out of correct alignment. So like if we look at his scan, now it's going to be completely off because of the jaw alignment. But still, even though this is like 3D scans will, this is a 3D scan that's been triangulated and reduced in resolution for the game, and then these maps to kind of pull a lot of things out. But the general volume is still there, and you can still see, even though it's a smoothed out, you could say, version of his face, a little mushier. You know, it's not crisp and tight, really. Plus, we have years of difference here, at least 20, 30 years of... It's been 30 years? 20 years, right? Because 29... So it's 1999. Yeah, wow. So we're 22 years later. Yeah. So here we are. So yeah, probably not 22 years though for him, I guess, because it's been a little less. But anyway, yeah, slight difference in the face and the weight, but not that much. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing though. People joke about Keanu is that he's ageless. He's got some good genetics, and he doesn't show a ton of signs of aging really. So much of his look is the same. But yeah, the lips, you know, lips don't really change in too much unless you're gaining a lot of weight or whatnot. Even then, not too much. But so you won't really see much of a difference. So yeah, you can just see here though how much softer the shape of the lips are in general. Just they're not big full lips, which this is a bit more of, but not too much more actually. I think it's mostly just kind of the pinching down here in the base of the lower lip. So, and then it needs to be brought inward more because it's kind of like, you know. But anyway, just going back and forth, just making sure that I lined up. I didn't think to check this actually, so let me go back. I just want to double check and make sure that I got the chin right. I never thought to actually match up the chin. Derp. Let's see here. Yeah, I probably should do that because it's still, yeah, it's a little off. Little off. Even though, again, we know it's smoothed out. All right. So with this, I wonder if I can get away with some projection. Just do it in a blast. Just do it quick. Yeah, I think it probably could. We'll see what happens. It might screw up a little bit in the corners of the mouth, which is typical. So I might actually preempt that problem by adding a little extra mask to the corners of the mouth. Because often areas of geometry that are close to other parts of geometry are always going to be kind of magnetically pulled to each other, and the algorithm always has problems because it doesn't know where you want things to go. It just assumes like, oh, these polygons are close to here, so just just pushes stuff up that way, and it always looks weird. And you always have like polygons going everywhere. All right, so let's try this now. I don't know. I'm tempted to just do the brush because then I keep thinking about other areas here that I got the chin right. So yeah, I might just do ZBrush first and see how we get this. Oh, I have Z add-on. Oops, there we go. Z sub there. Now we'll see a difference. There we go. Okay. Derp. Yeah, significant volume difference there. I mean, at the end of the day, probably most people would never notice. Maybe subconsciously they would be like, something's off. But this way it matches the scan, and then I can refine it from there. Whoa. Oh yeah, sometimes things can go weird with the image plane, which is annoying. My canvas isn't that big either. All right, well, whatever. So I'm not doing project because I want to have a little bit more control over what is being projected and where, because I don't necessarily want everything to go wrapped hard to the corner of the jawline. And that fold, see, look, it's actually it's like a kind of a happy accident there that I might actually leave some of that volume just for the fold and double chin that has come from his squishing his skull back. Ah, so it loves to do that with the image plane behind it. Smooth it out a little. A bit more, and then I'm going to add back some of that. That's interesting. Oh, duh, because it's like, where does that come from? The gums. Yeah, the gums have been pulled. Eh. Oh, a lot has been pulled. Dang it. I should have masked all that. All right, lesson learned. Undo. We'll go back. This isn't that hard to redo. Let's go back, back. Move forward until, okay, so right there. All right, so let's hide the jaw, yes. And I assumed incorrectly. Oh, and this stuff is already pulled. Wow. I wonder when that happened. That's interesting. Let's go back all the way. I'll just add those extra masks in there. Okay, so it was pulled. It was pulled during this session. Yeah, okay. All right, so just do a quick masking. Man, it really did pull that, yeah, inner mouth. Interesting. Smooth some of this out. I'll probably have to add in some teeth or another stream because at least want something showing when his mouth is open there. I don't want it just to be a hole or look gummy. Let me hide this. Just mask all that. Get back. Okay. Now we're good to go. All right. Let's try this again. Cool. Sorry to ask, but is it free? Sorry, what is what free? Noise TV service. If you're talking about lessons, no. Yeah, no, they're paid for sure. Yeah, no, sorry. Ryan, what's up, sir? What's good, amigos? Gear Duran art. Looking good so far. Dope. Edward Woods, thank you. Yes, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. All right, so getting back here. Interesting. It's pulling up to the upper, It's getting drawn to the upper lid here. Interesting. I guess the upper lip could use some adjustment too. So I think I actually didn't touch that up too much. A little bit, but not quite enough either. All right. Well, we're focusing on the lower lip. So let's just keep going here. The inside of the mouth can always just be challenging no matter what. Like just the area where the lips come in contact with each other. That's always challenging. Period. I'll just kind of be careful not to get too close to the top part here, because then it starts to get projected to the upper lip. It's funny because Keanu, the connection of things in the mind, the way that association works. It was funny. I was thinking about this uh, model the other day, and I think it was yesterday, I guess, or the day before yesterday. And of course, Bill and Ted came to mind, and then the music at the end of I think it was Bill and Ted 2. Uh, Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure, right? That's the second one. And they play Kiss. They play Kiss's song "God Gave Rock and Roll," and I'm like, man, that's still a good song. It's still a fun song. There's some classic rock that is classic for a reason, and I don't know. It was a good time. It's just fun listening to it again, and it makes me long to go to concerts again. Just go out and see people and enjoy it. All right, we're getting back there. Just smoothing out and just going between Z sub and Z add by holding Alt here to get the projection to match his chin. Slash jawline. Ah! Again, it happens. I'm getting too close to the image plane for some reason. It loves to just connect with that. I'm going to hold Alt and just tap with Move. Oops. And just kind of get some of that volume back. It seemed to sink a little too far. Interesting. Just smoothing out. All right, so I realize that the upper lip probably needs a little touch up too. So I'm just going to smooth this out. That'll be the double chin area. And then I'm going to invert the mask and take care of upstairs. Just trying to see where's the happy median to keep the jawline out there a bit. Because that's from muscle tension, I would think, from him tightening a little bit there, maybe. the mask for now, but I gotta remember, actually, I should probably go back one sec, because I wonder if that affected the inside of the mouth. No, not yet. All right. It's kind of interesting. It almost looks like he's doing this. All right. And blur that. Interesting. So you want there to be some volume there because there's muscles being pushed upward, but still, I think some of this could stand to be pushed back a little bit too. Using a little bit of Z add. I'm holding Alt here just to bring up the underlying surface again to kind of match it more with the scan. So the scan is gray, and the one I'm working on obviously is green. Just doesn't hurt to go back and check too, make sure things look correct. Just looking at like that divot in the cheek underneath the zygomatic bone. All right, let's look at that upper lip. It's subtle, so I almost don't want to, I don't know, we'll see what project does. Let me make sure that we got, oh, oops, wrong model, there we go. Got that all masked. Yeah, I guess I'll just match this area, and then I'll just add that extra, leave some of this bulge here, because that's obviously where the muscles, or the fat of the face and everything's kind of bulging. But I can add this wrinkle in here after the fact. Probably add some more weight in here again, some more mass. But the nose I know is good because it's also being moved a bit by his expression. Yeah, that upper lip, yeah, they both needed this adjustment to match the scan, because we're getting some problems here. Minor. Again, there's always issues on the inside of the lips that always happens with so many models. All right, I think we're about good. Smooth out that weirdness in there. Are we looking for that lower jaw, lower lip? That needs a little smoothing. Okay. Interesting little divots there. I wonder if that's actually from, is that the scan? Yeah, the scan has those divots, but I wonder if that's, is it legit, or is that my error in his hand doing that? I feel like that probably was my, I feel like it's probably my doing. Smooth it out. Guess this area doesn't matter all that much because, again, covered up by glasses. But again, if I do the transparent print for the glasses, you will see the eyes. So in this case, doesn't hurt to go the extra mile just in case, simply for the fact that this is not under a deadline, so no need to cut any corners. But smoothing it out a little bit because there's going to be volume that's built up a little bit there from his expression. Sneer. sure that distance isn't too great. And go back and check. Yeah, so then his nose has to come up there, as you can see from the sneer. It's definitely moving up. Was I able to figure out his hair? In what sense, Ryan? Do you mean like as far as just the shape of it? I haven't really worked on it since. I did it a little while ago, like a couple streams ago. I mean, I think it looks okay. It's probably close to what it was like. I mean, I think the part here is a little too strong still. I'm gonna fix that part, but I mean, yeah, it's a placeholder still. You know, I think I'm gonna get the strands to match more of like what we see in this photo here, so they won't be as Ken doll looking as they are right now. Have it be a bit more lengthy strands, a bit more crevices and you know, hills and valleys, a little bit more sharp, clear. But you know, yeah, the hair's there. I mean, again, just basic volume. Yeah, feels ish. Feels about right ish. Again, some touch ups for sure. You know, but yeah, it's all right. It's not there yet. All right, so news. And actually, let me mask actually everything else so I don't mess up anything as I try to make some adjustments here. Do our improper zoom again, get a little closer. Ah, shit. And there we can see the distance in this scrunch. Actual, make it side. See, that doesn't look right. Obviously, something's off. I think the lighting's throwing me off a little bit too. But yeah, it does seem like the nostrils are a bit asymmetrical in how his expression is. Like one side is a little higher than the other. So again, this is like where you have to take some artistic license and say, maybe was his nose actually like that? Sure. But from this angle, knowing that this is going to be viewed from all angles when it's printed, excuse me, that could look a little better. as could this area right here. Just notice that it's a little too harsh of a transition there in the face. Smooth out some of these areas that look a little too harsh. All right, so let's get back to the nose. I think I might just do some artistic license and just, you know, not match it 1-to-1, but have it look closer to this, but not exactly. All right, that's a little bit more gentle in my approach. Let's see how that looks. So from that to that, yeah, it works. I think it looks like the tip could come up just a bit more. Keep wanting to do my old style, just like doing this, but I got that raptor in the background. So seeing the septum here is looking a little thicker. Sorry. Apologies. Knock at the door. I think it's a package. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. All right, sorry about that. it's actually a plumber who was working upstairs, and they asked me to flush the toilet here to make sure everything in the plumbing has worked out okay. So I guess there's some interconnection of all the pipes. Anyway, yeah, it was a couple streams back. You didn't feel it looked right, so I was curious. Yeah, it's getting there, Ryan. Thanks for asking. When you want to pull what? When you want to put a render together for your portfolio, what do you use? Oh, full blown pirate. It depends. Depends where. It depends what. I don't know. Just depends what I want to use. A lot of my renders have been done in Keyshot in the past. If something was used for a film or commercial or whatever, of course, whatever they use to render it in the final imagery is what I'll just take a screenshot of, and use. Um, and I've used ZBrush. I don't really render in Arnold or like on my own. I don't really render in Arnold or V-Ray. I mean, you could, but I like the results are so much easier and so much faster with a Keyshot. Um, and what else? Unreal. I actually have an ad. It's like an intro illustration to a magazine article that's coming out eventually. I don't know why they're delaying it so much or why it's taking so long for the magazine to come out for this edition, but digital. But the whole scene, everything, was built in. Most of it was the characters were built. The dogs, they're dogs. A bunch of dogs were built in ZBrush, and then I exported everything and imported it all into Unreal, and used Unreal 4 to render. So that's something else. Should be cool. All right. So yeah, it really depends. What the situation is and where the final output was. Yeah. I'm just thinking of my nose, like, yeah, the tip. It depends on person's nose too, I guess. But the tip barely moves. The base here does not, so that actually should be restored. Um, these little things you never think about, really. Like I never think about how much does these parts of my face do these parts of my face move, unless you're doing something like this. And I'm like, well, actually, if you want it to be accurate, this part of your nose really doesn't move all that much at all, unless you're getting punched in the face. Tip will move just a little. So let's smooth it out, see how that looks. Solo, turn off poly, frame color. Interesting, but it does seem like maybe his does. Maybe the flare is also doing that to some degree. So we zoom in. There's definitely a difference there. But I don't think it's the angle of the face at this point because everything else seems to line up really well. So I guess it's just the sneer. It's the scrunch. All right. Again, I wasn't going to get too close because it might look a little weird from other angles. So let's see now. I mean, it looks a little weird, but it's also like his nose. I mean, it's got its own unique aspects. What are my thoughts on Autodesk Mudbox? Kind of feels like it's irrelevant at this point, honestly. And I'm not trying to be just a team player. I'm not trying to be just partisan. I used Mudbox briefly when there was still a significant competition between Mudbox and ZBrush, but it's so irrelevant to my life and to so much of the industry I've ever, for all the aspects of the industry I've been involved in. I know some people like it, some people still use it here and there, but I mean, so few. It's just like night and day variation on who difference between who. Sorry, this music is annoying me, and I can't speak as I'm hearing them say all kinds of crap. Let me pass this song. God, yeah. So basically, it's irrelevant. I just feel like Mudbox is, for all intents and purposes, dead. I mean, I know some people use it still, but I just feel like there's so few people in the industry, so few studios that really have a license on hand. So I don't think you're going to find many studios that want necessarily to purchase another license for some software that they probably have chairs for already in ZBrush, for software that does the same, similar kind of thing. I shouldn't say same because they're really not at this point. And there's always been differences. There were some things I did like about it that were interesting back then. I can't even remember exactly what they were. It was something to do with, I don't know what it was now. Was it some things in symmetry or some things in, because you have great symmetry in ZBrush, but I forget what it was, but there was something that was very interesting to me. One or two aspects of it that I'm like, that's interesting. That's useful. But that was also when I was still much fresher to this whole world. I'm talking back in like 2012, 2013, I think. So, eh. Um, Team Weird, why do you ask? Are you a Mudbox user, or what's your do you have a vested interest? Are you from Autodesk? Are you spying? Yeah, there's a significant. I mean, this to this level, there's a significant change in the features and shape of your nose, distance from resting position. I want to choose Mudbox or ZBrush. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, definitely go with ZBrush. No question. Yeah, I mean, like if you look at studios, where you can work and who's going to have licenses, or just even sharing files, there's going to be so much more ease to say, oh, here's these ETL. I don't even know what format they save Mudbox files in, but that's just how not common it is. That's how uncommon it is in most studios. And I know there are places that still use it, but very few. I think maybe Pixar or somewhere else might still be, like may have it in the mix, but ZBrush is so ubiquitous that I really don't think that there's any reason to learn Mudbox at this point. I feel like, for like I said, all intents and purposes, it's dead. Um, So yeah, don't even, I wouldn't touch Mudbox with a 10-foot pole now. No need. All right, let's see how this looks. It's looking pretty good. Definitely feels weird from this angle seeing it not match up with that one nostril, but then, excuse me, but I feel like, I guess I could touch it up a little bit without it looking too weird. Yeah. ZBrush hard to learn. That's relative, but in general, I think any piece of software has a significant learning curve. From everything I hear and from what I remember, I mean, we're talking back now, man, over a decade. When I started, yeah, I mean, it's challenging, but I think if you're committed, if you're willing to put in the work, like anything, I mean, there's a learning curve. Yes, it's challenging, yeah, in the beginning, but it won't be that if you're diligent, if you're putting in a few hours every day or more than a few hours, or just so you can at least go for hours on a weekend and just spend time, and it's like practicing an instrument, it's like working out, like anything. If you're consistent and frequent consistent, I would say, in other words, even if you're spending like just an hour or two every day, that'll build rapidly compared to if you're like just doing 1 or 2 hours here and then like a week or two goes by and then you put in a few more hours. Yeah, it's stuff is not going to stick as easily. It's just going to take longer. So is it challenging? Yeah, I think, but that's also why I'm offering I'm offering to do private lessons now, private classes or group class if we have enough people. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to teaching some folks. I have a few people reach out to me actually on Facebook of all places, which is funny. Um, but yeah, if you'd like to learn it, I can teach you privately if you have questions. I mean, there's so much out there that's available too, so I'm not going to act as if I have some sort of secret sauce or something to deliver, but I think what I'm offering, I guess, is the personal interaction and more personal touch to learning, and also, uh, you know, if you've liked my streams and you've enjoyed how I offer information, and I'm no BS kind of person. I mean, I'll just tell it to you like straight, and I'll give you the best advice I can for everything as far as breaking into the industry, you know, what makes a strong portfolio, what to where maybe to put your focus, what your strengths are, and also I'll give you some realities too. I mean, that's the thing that no real formal course online will ever tell you is they're not going to tell you all the nitty gritty about the reality of the industry and the challenges that'll be there. And it's not I'll give you some of the business aspects. Basically, I'll give you some of that too, which you won't find in most paid courses, if any. You might find people complaining. I'm not going to be. So that's the thing, though. I'm not going to tell you about the industry and complain about it or try to give you an overly emotional kind of delivery. It's not about dirty secrets necessarily. It's just more so about the realities of how the industry functions or how it did function and how things are changing now. So there might be significant benefits to having knowledge of how things are going, how things are working now. Um, with working from home and collaborating on different softwares and how companies seem to, you know, I guess like what they're looking for and how you deliver and how you interact with people, all that. So there's a lot that I think I can offer that is different from what's out there, but I'm also not going to claim to be superior to all of them or anything like that. I'm not arrogant at all or conceited. I mean, I'm sure I'm as imperfect and fallible as anyone else. But yeah, I've definitely helped many other people learn ZBrush in the past, and even when I was even just after I learned it, um, I had some great opportunities with working with ZBrush workshops, and I learned from some really great people who are still fantastic artists and instructors today. One notably, which a lot of you will know, is Paul Gabry. I actually met Paul first through ZBrush workshops, and I was one of the moderator for the most part of his classes on there, and that's what really helped me grow fast too. Was mastering ZBrush with Paul Gabry, and so that was a big help. See how that jaw lines up. I'm wondering if I should match that with the. I mean, it's so dark in shadow. Actually, let me help that with doing this. Just add another light, match that back up. Yeah, actually, it does look like it's sticking out. So I was wrong. I should push that in. I should match it with the scan. Derp. Oh well, lesson learned. Turn that off. And we'll just go in here and match that up. And the sternocleidomastoid here, that's got to have some bulge too, because I remember I matched that up with some of that line of the neck. But so yeah, if anybody's interested in learning ZBrush, send me a DM on Instagram at Daniel Lion Arts, all one word, and we can get you off to the races. Just trying to gauge interest still, you know, see how many people are out there that would like to learn from me or just have questions and would like some private personal tutoring. So like I said, I got a few on Facebook actually, friends of mine that have been looking to learn who are more traditional artists because there's a lot of people who are coming from 2D, um, classical kind of art and are looking to get into digital sculpture. So it's cool. And I would say too, if you can draw, that's definitely going to be a plus. It's definitely good. I think a lot of digital artists out there can't draw, which is a shame. And I think that they should definitely know. Should definitely learn to some degree. I mean, it's not like a requirement, but I just think that it will improve your hand and your hand-eye coordination. It'll improve a lot. I think it really helps. So I think if you can sketch even in general, it just also helps with the whole like mental manifestation. You know what I mean? Like seeing something in your mind's eye and then being able to like produce it. It's important. Okay, so there's. I guess it's the muscle. Could be the chin, right? What is it? I mean, not chin, the jaw. It is the jaw. So there's like just a slight adjustment here. The scan is his relaxed, neutral face, but this is a very muscle intensive expression. So there's got to be a lot of adjustments made to that area. Oh, autosave. Let's pull that out a little bit more. Don't need to mask the nose anymore for now. All right, cool, good enough. I mean, there's a slight discrepancy. Yeah, feeling good about this. Feeling good. I'm liking the way things are coming together. Feel better about lowering the jaw now because things are better matched up. So I guess we can just go ahead with this and just match this straight to the scan here as well. And then if things need to be adjusted, they can after the jaw is lowered and the expression's a bit more on point. Nicholas, thank you, sir. Mr. Desimov, how you doing? Are you guys in total lockdown too, or are you guys more open out there? Nashville? Miss you, Nick. Wish you were nearby still. It'd be fun to meet up for dinner now and then. Although I guess we could always Skype. I think we're good. I'm gonna have to bounce here in a few minutes actually, because I gotta go around 3:30 today because I gotta finish up some other projects and I gotta hop on a friend's live who I've committed myself to doing. So I won't be able to stick around for the full 2 hours today, but we're looking good. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling like we're really there. Just gonna drop that jaw, open the mouth, and then we just gotta throw in some teeth, and then it's off to, well, the hair too, I guess. But then it's attire really is gonna be almost everything else. Will be regalia, clothing, glasses, all the other cool stuff. Guns. Actually, he doesn't have any guns in this pose, but I might actually have an Uzi bouncing on the floor, like stuck in the ground from its. Because that leading up to this shot, he throws down two Uzis that he's holding and then does this triple kick. So I think it'd be cool to actually have a gun just sort of looking like it's bouncing off from where he threw it, just to kind of really create a Matrix moment of that scene in a sense. You know what I mean? Where you actually have that scene frozen and you can rotate it. But obviously it'll be a print, so it'll actually be one of the most I don't know what the right word is, aptly designed scenes from a film, because it would be such in line with how the Matrix is. But yeah, we're looking good. I'm liking this. We're looking sharp. I'm feeling good about it. Of course, we got to add some more of those, the veins popping and all that, all the facial detail, all those other subtle things will be coming in here after we get the base of the face done. And that wasn't meant to rhyme. The corners of the mouth are always annoying, but we'll fix that once it's open. That'll be easier to adjust. But it's always good to get satisfying match. Yeah, it's looking good. All right, we got like 4 minutes. I got about 4-ish minutes, 5-ish minutes. Any questions? Anybody have any questions that are burning? I was entirely interested in ZBrush as an aid for drawing 2D art quickly, in particular with lighting. Yeah, that's what a lot of my friends who are like traditional fantasy painters and artists have used ZBrush in the past for. It's like they learn just enough of ZBrush to be able to create something that they want to rotate and pose and get the angle right, get the perspectives right, and then use that as like reference, like custom reference, excuse me. So yeah, if anyone wants to learn that, if they don't feel comfortable just, or they would like just to have a more personal touch, let me know. Tablet necessary for sculpting and ZBrush? Yes, a tablet is definitely necessary. I mean, you could do it with a mouse and keyboard, but man, that's like, I've always said, it's always like, that's like trying to type your name with boxing gloves on. That's like the difference in subtlety and you know the amount of pressure sensitivity you really need. You need to have at least like a Wacom Intuos or something equivalent, which is just a black tablet that connects to your screen and you watch your cursor move as your hands down here. But if you've never used a tablet before, that can be pretty jarring. And there's definitely like a learning curve to that, where your brain has to get used to you moving your hand down here and you're seeing it move there. It's not the same as you'd think it'd be like a mouse, but the way it connects is different, believe me, in the brain. But it can be learned, but it takes a little time. You know, not much. But obviously, what's more immediate is if you can get a Cintiq, or I know there are other displays out there that people like. Apparently, like X Pen, I think, is one, and it's not Huawei because I'm thinking of that's a Chinese cell phone maker, but it starts with an H. It's not Hyro, it's something else. Anyway, I'm sure you guys know. There's another couple pen tablets out there that are screens that you can draw on, and they can work just as fine, I think. But of course, the best option, in my opinion, still would be to go with Wacom Cintiq. I mean, you can get an older one for a used one, or a slightly older one for a decent price on eBay. So you know, if you're just starting out, as long as it's in good used condition, I would say just purchase one for a less expensive rate, you know, on eBay. Yeah, but yeah, you definitely want a Cintiq or at least a tablet for sure. Um, Call me senpai. Hello. What the heck? Chris Jesus. Sorry, let's see if I can decipher this because I don't speak fluently. But you're asking hello. How am I? I'm good, thank you. Está bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? ¿Qué tus está? Just got ZBrush 2021.6.2. It's even better. I've been blocking out some things in this new app on Android, then importing them into ZBrush. Nice. New app on Android. Are you thinking of Forger? Are you talking about Forger? Forger's pretty cool. I gotta say, I like that. I have it on iPhone, and so it's a bit harder to really utilize. Plus, I have a Mobile Studio Pro, so there's really no excuse for me to be using Forger. But for those times when you just can't have something bulky, but you really need to get something out sculpturally 3D, I guess it could still work on the iPhone. But I think it really needs an iPad. It seems to be the better choice. But yes, hello, Chris. Have you tried this app, Nomad Sculpt, on Android? No, I haven't. A Nomad Sculpt. Okay, no, I have to check it out. Chattanooga, Tennessee. We are a little bit more open. Still put on the mask. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always wear the mask where I have to, for sure. But man, I still just love going to the beach and not just being on the beach and not wearing a mask, or just walking my dog, you know. A tablet necessary for sculpting. Yes. Am I a fraud? What? Yeah, Hyon. There we go. Yeah. Hyon? How would you say that? That was the question. Is it Hui Hyon? Hyon? Wyon? I don't know. I know that HU is different in Asian dialects than it would be just phonetically. System requirements for ZBrush. You can find all that info on Pixologic.com, but I think you know, any semi-modern PC. I mean, that's the great thing about ZBrush. I shouldn't say even semi-modern. ZBrush runs on like really weak machines, and it runs really well. It runs very well. Granted, the more RAM and the more powerful CPU you have, the better it will be. So keep that in mind. So the more RAM, the better. The more threads, the better. Took on as a teacher. What's the frequency of the mentorship, and how does that work? The frequency would be whatever you'd like. I mean, we could meet once a week, twice a week. We could do 45 minutes. Could do an hour. Could do more. I think to really get value and out of time spent, I think the bare minimum is 45 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes, you know, but I mean that's at least 30 to 45 minutes is the minimum, I think, just for actually grasping and practicing and, you know, gauging. Um, really mean mentorship, not just teaching. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, then that, yeah, we could totally, that could be done for sure. I mean, that's really what this is offering essentially. I mean, it's multiple ways of phrasing it, but yeah, I would be happy to mentor. Yeah, if we can come to a, you know, amicable, you know, reasonable pricing for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm looking to do, so I'll be more than happy. If you want to message me, your info, on Instagram, we can talk and take this offline, and I'm sure we can work something out. Um, okay, so Chris is saying who Eon, who Oon, who on, who Ewan, who Ewan. Okay. Uh, Huion. Okay, yeah. Huion. Yeah, it seems to be about right. Weon. Ran ZBrush on a Surface Pro 3 with good results. Works on minimum specs. Yep. Yeah, it works very well on low power machines, so to speak. You don't need a powerhouse PC, but of course, like I said, if you have more RAM and more CPU power, it'll run even better. Only meaning running better, when I should say that with a caveat, meaning you can have more higher subdivided models. Once you start getting past, like, I would say close to 100 million, or even like, well, not even that, I should say maybe like 80 million, 60 to 80 million. That seems to be the cap for a lot of minimum specs, like probably even 40 million, I would say, honestly, to really be. Because I'm trying to remember back, because it's like I could push it so far, and I'm trying to remember because I was working on, let me see if I even have it here. Yeah, I do. I'll show you guys this quick. This is this is great history. This really doesn't show much, I guess, but what I'm about to show you guys. This is the MacBook Pro that I moved to LA with about 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago now. It's dusty as hell because it's just sitting there forever. Doesn't even have its battery in because it fried, so I had to plug it in after a while. But this is what I ran ZBrush on and made a living off of, and had stolen and gotten back, thanks to the cops of San Francisco. When I was visiting ILM, when I was visiting Lucasfilm on a tour, from a friend that was gracious enough to give myself and a friend a tour. She and I were dumb enough to leave our laptops in our backpacks on the floor of the car, kind of under the seat, so it wasn't really visible. But we were just rushing to get to which is totally, I know, totally stupid. I never do that. But we didn't put it in the trunk, and so someone was watching, or was looking, and just came by and smashed the windows and stole the laptops. But this is what I ran my ZBrush on for a couple of years, for many years, really. And this was it. It's just an old MacBook Pro that's nearly worthless now. But that's what fed me. That's what put food on my table and paid my rent. And it's a weak ass machine. So you know, you can do a lot with a little with ZBrush. You don't need a really powerful PC, but more RAM and more CPU will definitely make it even better. But you can literally do professional work on a weak machine with ZBrush. It's awesome. So just let that be an encouragement to any of you who are like, oh, I can't afford a great machine. I mean, believe me, it wasn't until a few years ago that I was able to myself, and really, I mean, like, max it out, like get a really powerful machine. But it's hard work, man. It's not, the struggle is real, and it's never usually an easy path. And I think though that people who want to achieve great things and want to become better artists, some of that resistance is almost necessary. Just like working out, like taking care of yourself. You need to have some sort of resistance in life to kind of push against, and that will improve you. It'll make you stronger. I think without any resistance, you know, you just become kind of lethargic, complacent. You just kind of become Jabba the Hutt. So you need to have some pushback. You need to have a little struggle here and there. That's normal. That's healthy, and it can be frustrating, but you got to persevere. And I think that's a big part of it, is not giving up, and working on the 3 points I always tell people when they want to break into the industry. It's these 3 basic points of become excellent at what you do, because your competition are people already working in the industry. So don't look to your fellow students or people around your age or your skill set. look at the people working in the industry, because that's your competition. So be excellent at what you do. Be good with people. You know, learn to relate to people well, and be someone who's likable. Become someone who's likable if you're not. Be pleasant. Be pleasant to work with. Be pleasant to speak with. Um, just being a good person, really. Just trying to be a good person and working on yourself in that sense. And be introspective. Be reflective. Be self-critical in a healthy way. All of that, you know, pursue self-improvement. Being, of course, be kind, be friendly, have a good sense of humor, be able to talk about things other than whatever you're interested in, which is usually for us art, digital art, whatever. You know, uh, just having, just, you know, being a healthy, cultured person, all of that helps a lot. And then the third point is, of course, just being lucky, but that's luck favors the prepared. So it's really, if you're excellent at what you do and you're good with people, you're kind of already prepared for the opportunity to present itself to you, where someone may come and say, hey, I'm looking for someone to fill this position, or I'm looking for someone to do this for me. You know, are you interested? So, yeah. So anyway, what were the last couple things? Can you do some new Z project sculpts? Z project sculpts? Is that what you mean? What? Hey bro, long time to see. Old aluminum model. An old aluminum model. Oh yeah, it's the old aluminum. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm catching up here. Derp. Yeah, it's the old aluminum model. It's ancient. Nicholas remembers it. Yep. Probably still uses the old circular charger plug. No, it doesn't use that one actually. It was the It was the one that the first model that used the magnet charger. But yeah, it's pretty close to that older one. I had an older one of those, which I used for Photoshop a lot. It was an iMac or iBook, whatever it was. iBook. Yeah, it was a laptop, a little white laptop, like clamshell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're so underpowered now. It's unbelievable. Good evening. I have to go to sleep in 10 minutes. Yeah, I've got to go here too, guys. Do you think doing a full-time, I guess you mean job, and being an artist at the same time is doable? It's very hard, but it's doable, sure. I mean, but art will become your hobby. It will sort of be a hobby if you have a full-time job, you know, because you're basically, but yeah, it's doable for sure. It's rough, though. It helps to have structure. I think that's where, if you want to make art just for art's sake, and you have a full time job, you can do the art as a hobby. Um, but if you want to take it as a profession, you want to become an artist instead of working a full time job doing something else, you're going to need, like I said, some sort of commitment, some sort of discipline, structure, and that means, you know, becoming better at software, and also sharpening your art skills. So it's almost like a full time job, really, in a sense. I mean, that level of commitment and time you got to put into that is significant. Yeah. So it's doable for sure. I mean, I was working near full time when I was a full time student in college, and then I was also working in the ER. And then part of my major, my double major was fine art, my last year and a half. So but I was like social suicide. Like I had no real social life at that point. I was just, you know, studying all the hard sciences late at night, working on my drawings, falling asleep on those, waking up, finishing whatever I need to cram, and then going to class, and then going to work in the hospital, and then coming back home and doing the whole thing all over again. So, um, you know, something's got to give. Like you got to sacrifice something if you want something else. That's just often how it goes. So, yeah, you could totally do it. You can. Just got to be focused. You've got to have some sort of laser sight, you know, as far as what you want to do and where you want to go. And as that gets easier, that can probably take over supplying some of your income. You know, if you're fortunate and you're working hard and networking, you'll find opportunities and things will build, you know, but it takes time. So don't be discouraged if you want to do that. Um, just know that it's going to take time. Don't show up late to work. Yeah, definitely don't. Um, don't lose your full-time job. Um, Scuffle the zebras are fresh. Chris, are you trying to make fun here? I know I've been using a lot of it, but it's because I'm matching this up. So done a bazillion other sculpts without it. Won't be able to start any new courses until at least the summer. Definitely keep your card on my whiteboard. Sure, cool. Really appreciate it. Working full time at the moment and doing all my artist work in the evening and weekends. Thanks for your story. It's inspiring. I hope so. You're welcome. Sure. Very demanding corporate job, really good money and great benefits, but I'm always preparing my next career, whether it's art or another iteration of the current job. Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I left a decent corporate job that was semi-art related, but it was horrible. It was pretty brutal. So, but again, you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills, and it's hard to pass up good money. That's always, I mean, that's human, right? You have a nice steady job, good money. Why would you want to lose that? But the flip side is if it's consuming your life and your time and you're not enjoying it, love it, if you love art and that draws you more, then I think it's smart. It's wise to figure out how to transition, you know, some of your income to be sourced from art. Okay. I'll make it fun. I wasn't sure what you were doing. Yeah. No, I'll be doing many other sculpts here sooner than later. Yeah, and I'm sorry for anyone who is feeling like, God, this guy's not really sculpting right now. He's just matchmaking stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's because of likeness like this and using the mesh I am and not just doing uh, Z-Wrap, which I actually need to buy for this machine still. And I just noticed something weird here. Yeah, we got this shooting out. Dang it. That's annoying. But again, fixable, not a terrible deal. It's just a tongue. Who cares really? But I could just replace this later, honestly. But I'll just smooth this out quick. So here's a nice little typical problem of projections. You get something that pops out. But there you go. Almost back to normal already. There we go. Just saw that when the poly. Oh, there's another one. All right. Oh, that went too. Okay. Derp. Just smooth these out. Bring it back. Huh, glad I checked that. So anyway, I should get going here, guys and gals. But let me put my info in the chat one more time for anyone who's curious or, again, looking for any kind of tutoring, mentorship, training of any kind. If you'd like to learn in a more personal way, I can help you guys with that. Let me just fix this. Oof, the higher sub Ds are still wrecked. Forgot I did the chin or jawline again, and I didn't mask the mouth inside. Annoying. So this is just smoothing out, but this happens. So I guess this is helpful to show you guys. This is sometimes the reality is annoying, where you just have to go back, and it makes more sense still. There's more value for me to keep all the other extra work that I got done and just annoyingly smooth this stuff out than it is to undo it all and then have to redo it and then mask it. This is so much faster, and this is not going to be seen really much at all. I mean, you're not going to see 99% of this mouth interior, so it makes more sense to just fix it like this than undo everything. Just quick smooth, brings everything back pretty quickly, and helps the stair step up this way, because the more you fix the gross, meaning larger scale flaws in something like this, the easier it gets the higher you step up your subdivisions. If you were to try to do this in the highest subdivision level, you would have more pain, and it would take longer, and you'd have to use, like, even then, smooth, stronger, and it would still take forever. So this works. And yep, that one too. That one went. Okay. Let's fix these. Okay, so it's just the upper gums. Any last minute questions? It's looking neat. Thank you. Using a lot of ZProject. Okay. Nicholas, good to see you too, sir. Yes, let's talk soon, please. Let's catch up. All right. So that's all good. Cleaned up in there. Okay. So there we are. Matched. Yes. Yeah, ZProject and I would say ZWrap. I'll just buy ZWrap for this machine today, and I'll install it on here and make sure it works with. I got to upgrade to 2021.6.2 because I'm still in 21.5.1. So I haven't done the new version yet because I knew there's always little bugs that have to get worked out. So I think we're probably good to upgrade now, and hopefully ZWrap will work with this version of ZBrush. But I'll keep this one on just in case. So I'll delete my previous one. I'll install ZWrap on this one, and then download the new version of ZBrush, and I'll do a test to see if it'll run on the new version. And if it does, then I'll uninstall it from this version. Anyway, so then yeah, next week I can probably show you guys some ZWrap on here as well, which is a great plugin. It's a fantastic, amazing plugin for facial matching. And even if you have, let's say you have the exact same face, you have a scan. It's not exact same face. You have a scan like this, like of Keanu, but it's dirty. Like it's meaning that it's got triangulation everywhere. Like this is orderly triangulation, but let's say it was just a pure point cloud, that was triangulated. You just have all kinds of triangles, like tiny and varied and going everywhere, totally not animatable. And often you might get like a weird little, like if they put like a skull cap on, you still get like a weird little fuzzy, like kind of bubbly looking areas and imperfections here and there. And if they didn't go the whole way around, you might even have like an open face in the back of the head. So scan data usually is almost useless. It's just good for reference or good for projecting. So what ZWrap does is it lets you take this kind of dirty, I'm using that word, dirty mesh, an unorderly scan, and put it to good topology like this. So basically what we did, but in seconds. But the difference is too, it's a neutral pose to a neutral pose, which is great. You can do an expression from a neutral pose. You can transfer them if you want. But in this case, I wanted to be more subtle with it, so I did it by hand, and I just didn't care to pick up ZWrap for this machine at the time. But anyway, so yeah, it's a great tool, and I think we'll have some really useful demonstrations with it down the line. But I can do some demos with it next stream. So it'll be next Sunday, and yeah. So we're moving along here. So things are good. So all right, guys and gals, thank you very much for joining me. And let's see, anything else? How much is ZWrap? I think ZWrap's like $100 per year. So it's not too bad at all. Reality Capture is a great app for scanning. Cool. Ryan, thank you, sir. Noise TV, sir. No, my pleasure. Thank you, guys. And again, if you are interested in anything, tutoring, mentorship, private group lessons, whatever, that's me on Instagram. And email me if you want at daniel@lionarts.com. And yeah, those are the best places, the best ways to get a hold of me. Cool. All right. Take care, guys. Be well. I'll see you guys next week.